The main event of night one will be Randy Orton challenging Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. So give me your thoughts on everything and your prediction.
Man, I'll sum up a lot of it, make it short and sweet. Obviously, they could have went the easy route, which I'm sure a lot of fans seem to have just want. Obviously, it could be student versus teacher. I'm in the minority where I'm actually enjoying Pat McAfee being shoehorned into this. He's never played a heel really with WWE. I like this role for him, something new, something different. Um, I wasn't, if you'd asked me this a month ago, I wouldn't have predicted Cody taking two Mania losses back to back. But I think Orton's going to get that big 15. And I also think, as Pat McAfee said, if Orton doesn't win number 15, you'll never see me in the wrestling business again. And I think his hands are a little too deep into this. I don't think there's any way he just bows out.
So I didn't get a chance to talk about this because we didn't record last week. But for me, I was our clip of who was on the phone with Randy Orton. It did really well. I got a lot of different answers. I even got a unique answer of Chris Jericho, but Chris Jericho's back in AEW. But of all people, like Pat McAfee, like it's like I really don't understand like how like the meeting went. It's like all right, we need Jelly Roll. What? And then we need Pat McAfee. What?
Don't
It's
forget
like
Yachty.
I could deal with that. That matches, but
And he's actually doing a really good job at
yeah,
it. But
he is. Like I said, it matches. This don't match. So and like I said, like we got some comments. Like the whole thing with TKO. What's going on, Tony? Like the the things like it just doesn't matter. Like I can't. This is not going to do Cody any favors because for the second year in a row, I think Cody's going to look stupid in this situation because last year Travis Scott in the main event was abysmal. Nobody needs Pat McAfee involved in this. It really doesn't. Now the context of what he was saying the first week, I can buy, but the fact of Pat McAfee Pat McAfee being the one that put this into Randy Orton's head, and he's the one that got him to go back to that dark side, is ridiculous to me. Of all people, like me personally, I thought it would have been Dwayne. A lot of people thought it would have been Dwayne as well because Dwayne had something out for Cody the entire time.
yeah, but
And
Dwayne
now,
doesn't actually show up. It didn't make any sense to be
yeah,
Dwayne.
but he didn't. But the thing is, he didn't have to show up. Nobody had to show up in this case, in my opinion. I don't think anybody needed to show up. But this is what you come up with. Like it was in St. Louis. It was in St. Louis. People thought that it might have been Bob Orton, but Bob Orton now been like anticlimactic. Nobody knows who Bob Orton is in 2026 anyway. They'll just recognize the name, and then you got to do a whole backstory about, oh, well, he was paired with Randy 20 years ago on TV. That wouldn't have worked. And it's like, you had one job. You took the belt off of Drew because nobody wanted to see Cody versus Drew again. Cody versus Randy was the easiest thing and simplest thing to book. All you had to do was, like, for example, I'm telling you right now, it's not that hard to do this. You really think that Cody Rhodes is beating this ninja? I can't believe. And then, as I always say, people are always going to come for the person that they know they know about. And Triple H is the one who got the backlash of this. And it's not even him, it was TKO. So, in my opinion, I think that Randy Orton will win number 15. But I don't think this Pat McAfee thing has done Cody any favors. Now, I did appreciate him popping up to his show and getting his belt back. I thought that was funny because like this whole streaming stuff or popping up on somebody's show, I do think it's a great aspect, and I love that WWE acknowledges how the world actually is now with streamers and live shows and things like that. But my opinion, I got Cody. I mean Randy winning number 15.
Randy for sure.
Okay, we got Tony says he just got done watching AEW Dynamite. It sucked balls. WWE has nothing to fear from TK and AEW. That is for damn sure. He also says that it should have been Kevin Owens on the phone. And
I would have loved it for to be Owens, but
yes, we did have that comment as well. It might have been Tony as well who said that because this is not my first time seeing this name. And Randy is so good they didn't need to include Pat at all, and I agree with that. So we both agree with Randy Orton. Randy Orton's going to leave with the WWE Championship. So next, we're going to talk about the match that I think should be the main event. Seth Rollins and Gunther.
Oh,
we'll go to this right now while I get my clips together. Seth Rollins and Gunther, they're going to go one-on-one in WrestleMania. Gunther tells Seth Rollins he did it because when he was world champion, he avoided him, and he wants to prove that he's the best in the world. And Paul Heyman didn't reach out to Gunther. Gunther did this on his own power and told Paul Heyman, you owe me a favor now. And Paul Heyman, again, Paul Heyman, he's out there and putting himself in a situation he doesn't need to be. So, Jesse, give me your thoughts on Seth Rollins and Gunther and your prediction.
They, in a insanely short amount of time, have made this one of the most must-see matches of the weekend. I mean, really, at the end of the day, you do have two of the greatest wrestlers, not just today, but ever. And yes, it's a really easy, short storyline. Gunther was supposed to be potentially retiring Ray. Ray was hurt. So Rollins was supposed to be doing, he got hurt. Then he's supposed to face Braun. Braun got hurt. And then they put two guys that, look, we're both the best, and we just hate that the other person thinks they're the best. Boom, that's the storyline. And I'm sold. I mean, you didn't need much more.
Yeah, and it works. I'm not like WrestleMania 17, for example. Benoit Angle. It was like, I don't got a match. You don't got a match. Let's have a match. And you steal the show. And what do you think about the whole idea of this being a bit of an ulterior motive for Gunther? Because Gunther's known to end careers, and we talked about this as well. There's only two people that needed to face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. It was either Obafemi or Gunther. And the rumor, the speculation by everybody is that it's going to be, the favorite is going to be get him Brock at SummerSlam in Minnesota.
I fully expect that to be the case, and I'm here for the ride for it.
Yeah, I am too. I think that's the case in this situation. I think that will be the deal, and I do think this might be the match of the night I'll say for the weekend.
It could be the weekend
because, like you said, like this story actually works. It's thrown together, but it actually works. And both these guys, amazing in-ring competitors, and Gunther has been on a hot streak as well. Rollins' first match back. I'm going with Gunther. Who you going with?
I'm going to go Gunther as well, just because he needs to keep the steam going.
Yeah, I agree. Tony says Gunther and Seth is the last minute match, but something can spawn off of this, like we just discussed. And Seth versus Gunther 2 and 3. So maybe I'm guessing Tony means that they'll have a trilogy at this point. But I am going to go with Gunther to win. But I think this match is going to be fantastic. I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait. And just the whole journey of Gunther getting this favor from Paul Heyman is going to be great because Paul's always in over his head. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens on Brock and Oba on the following night. And it's I'm glad that it's opening one of the first two matches on the show and will be aired on ESPN as well. All right, so to the match that I personally think that should be the main event, and that is the Women's World Championship. So Stephanie Baker is going to defend
against Trouble
her women's World Championship against top 5 DOA Liv Morgan.
Lord have mercy. You gotta pop my dick, man.
Liv's got to take it. She's up to trouble, and I'm here for it.
So I'll take this first. So the reason I think this is main event is because, other than the fact of Cody and Randy being abysmal, in my opinion, this has had all the heat with minimal going on. You know, Stephanie and Liv, they both cut excellent backstage vignettes on each other. And when they get together, it's always physical. The pull apart backstage in gorilla position.
The bruises on each other.
Fantastic. The bruises, the hatred, even the little bit of in-ring.
Bilingual promos.
Yeah, bilingual promos, the shots, talking about mothers, making everything personal. This match has everything that a main event feel should actually have. And there's like a graphic going around where people actually do think this might actually main event night one. I don't think it will. I think it should, but I don't think it will. But this entire build has been everything that we needed. And I discussed that when this first started. I thought the inclusion of Dom was fantastic because he can kind of like break that language barrier between the two. But now we got Liv being bilingual, talking about Stephanie's mom and things like that.
Go back to the age-old Royal Rumble winner gets the main event. But, yeah, I do agree. I don't see it main eventing, but if we get a wild surprise, I'm here for it.
And also, like you said, the bruises, Mark's bruises, that adds so much to a feud. It really does.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. It adds so much. And we also talked about this, too. Well, I don't think you were here, but I brought this up with Roxy being back. That's also something as well because when Stephanie attacked Liv with Roxy, Liv was having a conversation with Roxy about where her loyalty was at. And now that's going to prolong this story with Roxy and Liv and Finn and Dom even more because now I think that Roxy has a reason to want to stick around to make sure that Liv takes out Stephanie and then she can move on to Liv because that whole thing with loyalty in the Judgment Day was unanswered, and now Roxy will have reason to want to be able to take out Stephanie Vaquer. So my pick for this is I think Liv Morgan will leave as the Women's World Champion. What are your thoughts?
I'm here for Liv as well. I do look forward to a rematch as well, but I think these two are going to mix it up real well.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this match. This is my most anticipated match of the night. For me personally, because I'm really looking forward to this match. I've been ready for it since the first promo when Liv told her mom was trash. Tony says Liv has gotten so better over the years. I admit I was not sure about her in the early days. I don't think anybody saw this, Tony. Me and Eric talked about it a few weeks ago, and I said that, and I believe Eric agreed with me. She is one of my favorite stories in pro wrestling.
Top to bottom.
Talk about it because you would never, like you said, you weren't sure about her in the early years, and I know Eric didn't, and I know for sure I did. I didn't see this about her headline in WrestleMania and being the focal point of the women's division for the last 3 to 4 years. But she's been.
Who thought the eye candy from Riot Squad would end up potentially co-main eventing Night One of WrestleMania?
Yep, for sure. Next up, we're going to stay in the women's division. Women's WIC titles on the line. AJ Lee defending against Becky Lynch. What you got for me?
I'm looking forward to this match. I'm hoping AJ retains, but the hype up promo package for this, where you're seeing, I think, about 3 times that AJ has made Becky tap. I can't really see her doing it again. My money's on Becky. I mean, obviously, I want AJ Lee, but I anticipate Becky Lynch winning.
Yeah, AJ has tapped out Becky Lynch 3 times, and this is the classic. You know, when somebody beats you so many times, like why are we wrestling again? But it's for them to finally get their lick back.
Yeah.
So I do think Becky Lynch will regain her WIC title at WrestleMania as well. I have enjoyed the interaction between the two. It hasn't been a lot, and this story's been told over like 6-7 months now, dating back to before WrestlePalooza. So
yeah.
So from what we got, I have enjoyed. I really did enjoy like that sit down with Michael Cole, and then Becky Michael Cole left, and her and Becky had an interaction, and she said that I'm your favorite wrestler, and your daughter's favorite wrestler. I thought that was a great line. I think AJ's been good since she's been back. She had a good match with Bayley. I thought the match at Chamber with Becky Lynch was really good as well. And I'm not sure where you go from here with AJ Lee, but I'm excited for this match as well. I'm not looking forward to it as much as I am with the Liv Morgan match, but this match I think will actually be really good as well. And I'm not sure where we actually go from here because there's so much left we can have with AJ Lee in her return because she's been tangled up with Becky Lynch this entire time. So we'll have to see where we go with this. You got anything else to say about this match?
No, that's it.
All right. Now this match I've had a lot of fun with watching, and that is going to be LA Knight and the Usos taking on IShow Speed and the Vision. Now, I could have cared less about Danhausen coming to WWE. I could have cared less. But him cursing IShow Speed and IShow Speed accidentally messing up every week has been fantastic. And I've loved watching it every time. I'm like, all right, another IShow Speed again. But this has been good and fun. I've enjoyed all of this. What do you think?
Well, I got to start with the frontal part of that statement. Danhausen, just like you, I could have cared less about. However, I'm quickly becoming a fan of him. I'm enjoying him cursing any and everyone. The segment and the build so far to it is good. I like that these gentlemen from the Vision have the tag titles. I guess with that being said, especially them being a celebrity on the wing, I guess I'm going to say the Usos in LA take the W. Jey Uso's already a world champion in somebody's world at the moment, so he's he's already on cloud nine. He could use another dub.
So I'm going to go with the LA Knight and the Usos. Like I said, I talked about the top of the show with Cody Rhodes jumping on to Pat McAfee's show. LA Knight slapping up IShow Speed on his show I thought was funny as well. And like Danhausen, I've enjoyed everything Danhausen done. Like I said, I could have cared less. One of my coworkers, Mark, he's a little older, but he's like, "How old is this kid? and what's he doing? On TV?" But I've enjoyed Danhausen.
Well, IShow Speed is 21.
Is he?
I saw something. I didn't know I did not know that, but I saw something that was talking about like the youngest WrestleMania performers, and it's saying this year IShow Speed will be 21 at WrestleMania.
He just turned 21.
Wow.
That's wild. Yeah, he just turned 21 in January.
So just turned 21. So last year when he just turned 20, he was getting speared by Braun Breaker. Lovely.
He almost died. He almost died at 20. But yeah,
he was in a C21.
Yeah, but I really enjoy this entire thing. I really have. LA Knight honorary Usos for the night, and I'm looking forward to the match. I think this will actually be a lot of fun. Not at the top of my list, but I'm definitely looking forward to a good laugh or two coming out of this as well. And I think the Usos won't be done for WrestleMania at all after this match either. So yeah. I'm gonna go with LA Knight and the Usos, and you did what you went with the Vision and Speed.
No, I'm going with the tripod of the LA Usos.
Okay, cool. And maybe other than Liv and Stephanie, this match, as far as build, has been there.
Title.
Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu, they're going to go one-on-one in a sanctioned match. This is something that we glossed over, but this has been really good. And I'm not sure if you saw Drew's segments that he did in jail was great. The whole fight outside was great. This entire thing has been great and had a lot of heat to it. And the interesting thing about this is we're still not sure who attacked Jacob Fatu a few months ago. And another interesting fact is that Jacob Fatu helped Drew win and lose the WWE Championship. Give me your thoughts on this and your pick.
I'll be completely honest. The build-up has been good. It's one of those things that's like one of the more forgettable. I'm not excited. I hope this steals the weekend because I think it's going to be one of those more forgettable parts of the weekend, and that's unfortunate. Two great guys, Jacob, who's a future world champion. Drew probably wins the belt again at some point, former multi-time world champion. I just I don't know, just kind of unfortunate placement for these guys. They could and should be somewhere higher and more important, but looking forward to the match either way.
So this has been, other than Stephanie and Liv, this has been the best built match for Night One. Now, we didn't need Drew and Cody again. I don't think this is main event worthy. I don't. But this has had pretty much a very good build and long-term storytelling build. And everything is validated, especially the unsanctioned stipulation between the two. Because these two just are basically just going to flat out kill each other. Like, I know you've been an advocate about Nick Aldis, friend of the show, getting involved. He's been pressing, McIntyre's been pressing Aldis's buttons for months now. And Fatu and Drew McIntyre, they can't seem to stay away from each other. They're getting physical. Got WWE officials always around the entire time. But I'm going to go with Jacob Fatu to win this match because I'm not sure if you heard, but McIntyre is supposed to be going away to film something in the upcoming weeks. But I do think this match is going to be really good. I think the unsanctioned match, unsanctioned stipulation.
Something crazy is going to happen.
Oh, absolutely! It's going to be worth the watch. And this match will be in the first hour that will be streaming on ESPN2 as well. So I'm gonna go with Jacob Fatu to win.
I'm with Jacob as well. That free hour is going to be a bunch of Samoans taking W's.
All right. So next up, Women's Tag Team Championship on the line. Charlexa against Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, against the Bellas, and against the Irresistible Forces. And you know how I feel about the Irresistible Forces.
Capital B.
Well, I'm going to go
capital
just
O,
off feelings
capital
as well.
A,
This
capital
is great.
F.
They're getting
Both.
eight ladies that all deserve to be on the card. Some of them getting their, I guess just Lash getting her first Mania. But I'm going for Bayley and Lyra getting to do what they should have done last year, and they get their moment. They win the tag titles together. And if Bayley's in the match card, I'm always rooting for her.
Yeah, ironically, I did realize that a few weeks ago that Bayley and Lyra, they're going to get that spot that they didn't get last year when Bayley was written out the match for the return of Becky Lynch.
Becky Hogan.
Per WWE Unreal, wasn't her. It was written that way.
Yeah, it was written that they said that on Unreal.
So you're telling me WWE Unreal isn't real?
It is unreal.
All right. So like I said, you brought that up. I think this has been probably the best focus the women's tag division's gotten. Because in the last month and a half, Nia and Lash have went through all these teams. And also they've been integrated in one-on-one matches as well. But they've had championship defenses against all these teams. And they've been a focal point of the show as well. Lash, she's been amazing.
They've been staying busy for sure.
Lash has been amazing since she's been called up. She had a great show in that Survivor Series, and I think she's a future star as well, along with her future husband, Trick Williams. I do think she is definitely going to get a big shining spot in this match, but I do not see them getting the win out of here. I personally think the Bellas are going to get their moment, unfortunately, and win the Women's Tag Team Championships.
Boo.
That's just where I think it's going.
I wouldn't be surprised. It just doesn't make sense. But
Nikki outside of TV is still walking around in a walking boot, so we'll see what actually does happen. I'm not sure if it's just not sure what's going on with that, but I don't see Nia and Lash leaving as a tag team champions. What are your thoughts on Lash, by the way?
Tons of potential and upside for her. She moves great for someone with little experience. Obviously been around for a couple years, but she's part of that 2.0 batch. She cut a hell of a promo. She's going to be a huge single star one day.
Yeah, she will, and I'm glad she's in this spot because I always talk about when you get somebody else new, you got to remove the old guard. And I think Lash is one of those people that's going to come in and kind of, when somebody's out, take over at part of the new guard and let these people that have been here for longer push to the back because we need these new stars. I think Lash is going to be one of those stars that we actually are going to get. And I got big I got big things. I think big things are coming for her. So now that's